Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Today we are going to be talking about what if the Portland Trail Blazers decided to draft Kevin Durant instead of Greg Oden in the 2007 NBA draft. Before we get into the video, please do make sure to subscribe if you appreciate this content and want more of it. Comment below and let me know what you think of the video and what you want to see in the future, and like the video and share it with a friend. And with that said, let's get right into it. Before we get into this hypothetical, we need to rewind a bit.
With the first pick in the 2007 NBA draft, the Portland Trail Blazers select Greg Oden from Ohio State University.
The year is 2007. The San Antonio Spurs were on top of the NBA and had just won themselves their fourth NBA championship title. Dirk Nowitzki was the league MVP, Kobe Bryant had just finished the season averaging 31.6 points a game, and Brandon Roy of your Portland Trail Blazers had a monster rookie season and even won himself the Rookie of the Year title. Despite the Blazers rejoicing in Brandon Roy looking like a future superstar, they still managed to be one of the 6 worst teams in the NBA that year. They finished with a record of 32-50, giving them a mere 5.3% chance at the #1 overall pick. But what do you know, the lottery legends were with the Blazers that night, and they secured themselves the prize that NBA teams throw away entire seasons for, the #1 overall pick. In hindsight, you may be asking yourself, it seems like an obvious pick, right? I mean, KD was seen as a 6'10" small forward out of Texas, who despite being slim, had a smooth looking jump shot and can play multiple positions on the floor. But for the Blazers, it seemed that they had their eyes set on Greg Oden, a 7-foot tall big man out of Ohio State. He seemed to have a lethal combination of size and athleticism. He ran the floor well and was dominant on the defensive end, and was an excellent shot blocker and rebounder, which is just what this team needed that year. He also altered so many shots that his numbers alone didn't do him justice. He had great hands and soft touch from inside and was developing a clean jumper. He also was a good passer out of the post and overall a very high IQ player. Doubts about Greg Oden lied in his mindset though. Some scouts claimed that he seemed to be too nice at times and quote, doesn't seem to have a killer instinct. He was also coming off of a wrist fracture that sat him out most of his last season of college, so there seemed to be some slight concern with injuries with him. On draft night, the Seattle Supersonics held the 2nd overall pick, and it was viewed that whoever the Blazers didn't take between Oden and Durant would be chosen by Seattle. As most of you know, the Trailblazers ultimately decided with a seemingly can't-miss talent in Greg Oden, and so the Supersonics chose Kevin Durant 2nd overall. I'll keep this part short because I think we all know how these two players' respected careers have panned out so far. Greg Oden played in a mere 105 games in his NBA career across 3 seasons. He played 82 games in 2 seasons for the Trailblazers, where he averaged 10 points, 7.7 rebounds, 0.7 assists, and 1.7 blocks. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant is a 14-time All-Star, Rookie of the Year, 2-time NBA champion and Finals MVP, 6-time All-NBA First Team, and more. Now onto what you've probably been waiting for. What would the trajectory of the Portland Trail Blazers team look like from 2007 to present day if the Blazers had drafted Kevin Durant on draft night instead of Greg Oden? To do this, I used AI to map out everything from his stats, MVPs, championships, etc. Now please take this with a grain of salt, as it does not calculate things such as trade requests, if there's poor relationships with front office, coaching team, players, etc. But without further ado, here is the hypothetical timeline of if the Blazers drafted Kevin Durant on draft night. In the 07-08 season, Kevin Durant, as a rookie, immediately becomes the focal point of the Portland Trail Blazers offense, averaging around 20 to 22 points, 4 to 5 rebounds, and 2 to 3 assists per game. He shoots around 43 to 45% from the field and around 35 to 37% from the 3-point line. With Kevin Durant's scoring prowess, the Blazers improved significantly from the previous season, finishing with a record around 500 and making the playoffs as a lower seed. In the 08-09 season, Durant's numbers take a huge leap, averaging about 25 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. His shooting percentages improve slightly to 47% from the field and 38% from the 3, and Portland secures a higher playoff seed, advancing to the 2nd round behind Durant's scoring and leadership. From the 2009-2010 to the 2014-2015 season, Kevin Durant really establishes himself as one of the top scorers in the NBA, averaging around 28 to 30 points a game, 7 to 8 rebounds, and 4 to 5 assists each game. He shoots very efficiently, maintaining 50-40-90 shooting splits in some of his seasons. And the Portland Trail Blazers consistently are finishing among the top half of the Western Conference standings, making deep playoff runs. They reached the Western Conference Finals twice, with Durant leading the team in scoring and being a key factor in their success. Now I know what some of you are wondering, the Blazers in theory would still receive Damian Lillard in this hypothetical, as the pick they used to acquire him was received via the Brooklyn Nets in a trade for Gerald Wallace. In the 2015 to 2016 season, Kevin Durant maintains his elite level of play, averaging around 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. He continues to shoot efficiently from the field and beyond the arc. Portland makes a strong push in the playoffs, reaching the NBA Finals for the first time since the early 1990s. However, they face tough competition but fall short of winning the championship. In the 2016-2017 season and the 2018-2019 seasons, Kevin Durant's stats remain consistently high, though there might be slight variations due to team dynamics and competition. The Blazers remain competitive, making the playoffs each season and reaching the Western Conference at least once more. They continue to be contenders in a tough Western Conference. In the 2019-2020 season, Kevin Durant adjusts his game as he ages, focusing on efficiency and leadership. He averages around 25 to 27 points, 7 to 8 rebounds, and 4 to 5 assists per game, maintaining high shooting percentages. Portland continues to be a playoff team with Durant leading them in deep playoffs runs. While they may not win additional championships, they remain competitive and respected in the NBA. Little side note here, I do think that with the addition of Damian Lillard, they definitely would have won at least 1 or 2 championships during this period, as if Kevin Durant stayed with the team through 2020, that would have been 8 seasons that Damian Lillard and him would be teammates. And I just don't see a situation where they don't win at least 1 or 2 championships during that time, even with Golden State and the Cleveland Cavaliers on top of the NBA. Now, as far as accolades and achievements go in this hypothetical, Kevin Durant still wins Rookie of the Year just like he did in 2008. He's a multi-time NBA All-Star selection nearly every year from 2009 to current day. He's a multi-time All-NBA First Team selection. He's an NBA scoring champion multiple seasons in a row and secures himself multiple finals appearances and potentially multiple championships, assuming Damian Lillard's on the roster still. And for the Portland Trail Blazers, they are a consistent playoff team from 2008 to 2020. They make multiple trips to the Western Conference Finals, potentially winning multiple championships, and they have an enhanced reputation as a competitive franchise in the Western Conference for years to come. Now, this scenario imagines a successful partnership between Kevin Durant and the Portland Trail Blazers, transforming them into a perennial contenders in the NBA for the span of nearly 2 decades. Kevin Durant's scoring prowess and the Blazers' organizational stability would likely have resulted in significant achievements and memorable playoff runs throughout his career. And there you have it. What would have happened if the Blazers drafted Kevin Durant number 1 overall in 2007 instead of Greg Oden? Please make sure to comment below and let me know what you thought of this hypothetical video, and make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed it and share this video with a fellow Blazer fan. Check out my latest video all about Anthony Simons that should be showing up on screen now, and whether or not he should or should not be traded. With that said, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and until next time, I'll see you later.